Okay, so you want to get a file into GIMP. The best thing to do is to open up GIMP and just drag it in. The reason we're using GIMP is because we're using the transparency, and GIMP, and particularly GIMP, this version of GIMP, which is 2.8, I think. This is very good at dealing with the transparencies. Now, transparencies work by using layers. So you've got over here in the Layers tab, Layers. So what we can do is we can right click and we can create a new layer. And we want it, let's just say we want it a white layer. So we add a white layer. Right, now, dealing with layers. You can turn a layer off and on, and layers will work from top down. So anything, if you put the layer above a layer, that layer will appear above the layer below it. You can switch off the layer underneath, or you can switch off the layer on top. That's pretty much it with layers. The transparency works by, hang on, if we disable these, right, we can import this one. Right, so this is a layer that doesn't have a transparency, but it should, because it's not been downloaded correctly. Tools that we have to our disposal, we've got a move, which lets us move it wherever we want, and as you can see, the layer appears up there. And we can also scale it. So we've got the scale one as well. So what we want is we want that to be the same scale as this. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the scale tool, which is the little box like that. We're going to move it roughly up there, so it's sort of in line with stuff. And then we're going to scale, and that opens up the scale dialog. Now you can manually scale it, or you can incrementally scale it, or you can manually scale it. This is the lock. So if you lock it, that means that the two numbers will scale together. If you unlock it, you can then scale one but not the other. So we want it locked, and then we want to drag the corner, and we're just going to drag it to where it approximately needs to be. Also, let's full screen it so we've got a little bit more of the screen to play with. It's not ideal. Scale. Right, okay, so now we have our layer. It's a bit blurry because it's come from a low resolution, but what we want to do is we want to now make this transparent so that we can actually see what's below it. So what you do is you need to add the transparent layer to, well, the layer. So you go into layers and you go into transparent. Make sure that you've got the right layer selected. If you look, that's selected because it's got a little white box around it. That's unselected because it's got a black box around it. Select that, go to layer, go to transparency. Now you've got all these choices here, and you want to color to alpha. So basically this takes whatever color you've got here, and we want white. White is the default. White works really well, and that will make anything white transparent. So you go to that, and there we go. We've now got a transparent layer. And if we adjust it, hang on, no, that's the wrong one. Control Z. Go away. No, I need you. I need it, but I don't. I need you, but I don't need you. Right. Okay. So yeah. So you can see that the scaling is not completely right, but now that we've got it a little bit, well, now that we've got it transparent, we can actually move it a little bit better. Yeah, that will do. Anyway, what we want to do now is we want to put this layer behind this layer, and there we've got our kind of transparency. So there we go. So the reason I like using 2.8 is because some of the transparency, how it deals with transparencies, can be a little bit better than the newer version. because you have certain tools and things that when you want to like remove something, if you want to erase something, it erases it a lot better. Or if you want to draw on the transparent layer or draw on a layer with a transparent section, you can use all of these different brush functions. The newer version, they don't work very well with transparencies. So yeah, that's transparencies.